Welcome back to the show, everybody. We got a great one lined up. Somebody roll that beautiful intro.
Digital Perspectives with Brad Kimes. Come on in.
Did you get your ticket yet?
The countdown is on to XRP Las Vegas 2025 at the MGM Grand. The markets seem to be stuck in neutral, but positive developments are happening daily. Now is the time to get a better understanding of the evolution of finance and Web3. This is more than a conference. It's a life-changing experience. Go to XRPLasVegas.com to get your tickets and see our all-star lineup of industry leaders. Also, builders and developers will have a shot at $25,000 in prize money with the best Web3 project ideas in a Shark Tank-like pitch. We're almost to the finish line. Get your tickets now to the world's largest XRP conference at the MGM Grand in Las Vegas, May 30th and 31st. Lock in.
Damn right, get your ticket. This is going to be a great show. Make the investment into yourself and get your ticket before they're gone. We will be cutting ticket sales off at a point, so I can't tell you exactly when. If you're getting your ticket, please get it. Book your flight and room. Remember, there's a lot of conferences going on that week, so don't mess around. Make the investment yourself. Get yourself to that conference. $2.76 trillion market cap for crypto. Market's off 1.7%. Bitcoin is 84,600 plus, Ethereum 1,500 plus, XRP at number 4 spots $2.08. Now we're off 1.4 in the 24, but we're up 3.4 on the 7-day. Careful what you call progress, I say. Look at the range of price here, ranging between $2.05 and $2.11. The spread is tightening. Normally, when there's not a lot of price action, we're ranging between a cent and a half or less. So there is some movement out here, but it's fallen off a bit, right? But nonetheless, I have some information for you today that I think you're absolutely going to love. And let's start right here, ladies and gentlemen. It's the Freedom Zone. Join us. Click the link and join us and come on in. And by the way, you're going to want to see what we're going into today, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, the lies that have been told to us as U.S. citizens, let alone the world. But join us in the Freedom Zone. You'll find out. And don't forget about Caleb and Brown. Go to XRPWealth589.com. XRPWealth589.com. You could join Caleb and Brown too, like Digital Asset Investor and myself have. We've been watching this company for 3 years. And now is the time before we see this bull cycle come. If you're a retail investor and you want institutional grade custody and not be charged for it, Caleb and Brown's where you want to be. If you want to be able to speak to a human being because you're concerned you may have been hacked, or you may have set your market orders wrong, or some other reason, you can do it. You can pick up the phone and talk to a representative. And you know how I know that? I was moving some crypto last night into my Caleb Brown account. And guess what? I was talking to my rep the entire time I was doing it. I can't do that on any other exchange that I've ever been on in my life. I've gotten the best sleep I've gotten in 7 years. And I'm going to continue to get a great night's sleep. And you can too. Click the link, get started. I do want to share this with you from Caleb and Brown. If you think I'm kidding you, I'm not. Take a listen to some of the advantages just shared here.
When you sign up to use our service, you're not only getting the support of your broker, but we have a support team as well. And we're there to kind of support you through accessing your portal account, helping troubleshoot issues that you might find, as well answering any questions that you might have about how to use the service.
This is what I'm talking about. I just experienced this last night. Don't wait. You're not going to believe this. It's the equivalent of calling up your broker with stocks and going, sell all my Apple stock. You know what I mean? Or what do I need to do to finish getting this account open? It's incredible, the level of customer service. Click the link, go to XRPWealth589.com and get started. All right, let's start right here. Now, I know we had a big opener, but listen, that conference is ticking down. We're about 40 days away here. You're going to want to be at this conference. Did I tell you Miguel Villas is coming too? Yeah, he sure is. We got so many people coming. Yeah, you better get your ticket. We're going to have to cut them off. I've done everything I can to hold the prices down. You know, we were going to raise the prices a couple months ago, and I could have. And I said, you know what? I just don't want to. These things are very hard to make money. Believe it or not, they're very hard to make money at these things. They're so large. They're so expensive. I'm telling you, Vegas and these places are not places that embarrass very easily, but we're going to make it a great experience for you. But let's talk about the narrative that's taking shape. I have told you, and if you're not privy to this in the private group, in the Freedom Zone, and certainly the DPMG, we talk extensively about how these events that are taking place right now around the world are absolutely tied back into this new digital on-chain economy that we're going into. Let's start right here and see if we can't put it together for you this morning. President Trump.
As you know, we've had numerous talks, very, very at the highest level, frankly, with other countries. Yeah, we're doing very well, and we're moving along on trade very well. The United States was ripped off and taken advantage of by every country in the world, practically. I mean, I have to say practically, but just about everyone. That's not going to happen anymore, but we're going to make fair deals. As you know, we've had...
So that's the fight to make better deals for the tariffs, which are also about getting more money into the country, taking the burden off the back of the citizens through income tax, and also bringing manufacturing back home. And what else? Securing new trade deals, because everything's going to be tokenized and moved to the new digital on-chain economy. Let's keep moving. We got a lot to cover. Tariffs are working. All of this is being done because the world is about to move to a new digital on-chain economy. Write it down. Then we see this fight taking shape. It is all of this taking place, causing some negative fallout in the markets temporarily, which could last up to, 18 months, or so. Trump again calls for Fed to cut rates and says Powell's termination can't come fast enough. Well, why is that? Well, here is Senator Elizabeth Warren, and I'm only going to give you a piece of it because I don't want you to get sick or wreck your car.
But I really want to make a pitch here for a second about the importance of Powell staying in his job. Look,
and it's unusual coming from you. You're very critical of him.
I have tangled with him on a regular basis about both regulations and interest rates. But understand this. If Chairman Powell can be fired by the President of the United States, it will crash the markets in the United States. The infrastructure that keeps this stock market strong, and therefore a big part of our economy strong, and therefore a big part of the world economy strong, is the idea that the big pieces move independent of the politics, that somebody is making his, their, her best decisions economically and independently. If we understand that if the New York Stock Exchange, if interest rates in the United States are subject to a president who just wants to wave his magic wand, this doesn't distinguish us then from any other two-bit dictatorship around the world where everyone knows what your big investment risk is. Will that dictator wake up in the morning and have a tummy ache and decide to cause this problem or favor that friend?
This is the classic example, okay? This woman is absolutely powerful and is absolutely scary because of her power and her absolute professional ability to lie through her mouth. It's unbelievable. This is the radical left lunatic who's using Rules for Radicals playbook by Saul Alinsky. Go read it for yourself. When you, in fact, blame others for what you, in fact, are doing. Senator Warren had no problem when Joe Biden was weaponizing the government and social media platforms to influence and control narratives by limiting free speech of every human being on earth, let alone U.S. citizens. She cheered it on. She helped. Yet, she pushes back on the president because the Fed won't lower rates so the U.S. can be refinanced at a lower rate. That's what she's mad about. Jerome Powell is like a banker holding your mortgage note on your home and ignores lower rates for you while catering to the rest of the world, except it's the US dollar he's holding hostage, not our homes. New Bretton Woods equals Mar-a-Lago Accords. The Plaza Accords back in the 80s were when they had to devalue the dollar to take the stress off of other countries like Japan and others. They had to readjust the FX rates. The U.S. Treasurer today, Scott Bessent, has suggested we are going to see a moment like that in this 4-year term. And listen to this.
Go ahead. Yes, sir, please. Go ahead, please.
Do you regret nominating him, Jerome Powell?
Look, in the first 4 years, we had the greatest economy in the history of our country. The stock market went up 88 points. I think he's terrible, but I can't complain because we had the most successful administration economically in the history of our country. I think we're going to do even better this time because you will see that the numbers that we're taking in are astronomical. We're taking in tremendous amounts of money with the tariffs. We were treated very unfairly on trade, and countries are having a hard time getting used to the fact that they can't do that to us anymore because we have a real president. We have a president that understands what it's all about.
And here's what it is all about, because we have a YouTuber that understands what it's all about too. All of the things that President Trump has put in place and the negative effects that it caused on the markets, the trillions that left the markets when the tariffs first went in place, should have triggered the Fed to cut rates, but it didn't. Jerome Powell decided not to play along because Jerome Powell runs the Federal Reserve, which is not a branch of the U.S. government. It's a private central bank. Going back to my home analogy and the mortgage analogy, meaning the Fed, Jerome Powell, doesn't want to cut rates because he understands that Trump wants to refinance the house. So Jerome Powell doesn't want to cut rates because he knows Trump's going to refinance the debt of the country, meaning the Fed will make less money if he refinances the debt. The bank is refusing to let you refinance your debt. But yet the Fed wouldn't be making any money if Woodrow Wilson didn't sign over the power to give him the use to control our own U.S. dollar. Meanwhile, U.S. bond giant PIMCO warns U.S. dollar reserve currency status is not guaranteed. The world is starting to become awake. I say now it's a party, New Bretton Woods, Mar-a-Lago Accords, but first, Powell has to go. This doesn't change. Trump needs to refinance the debt of this country this year. It's not a choice. In order to do that, Powell's got to go because Powell's not playing along. That's the problem here. And Powell's not playing along because Powell is actually being political in reverse to what Senator Warren was saying about Trump's being political, when in fact it's actually the Fed not catering to our needs to get us through this moment so we can move forward to get the debt refinanced. No. Jerome Powell and the Fed don't care. What happens next? I say Mar-a-Lago Accords, just like Plaza Accords, new FX rates and system will be established. Trump calls again for the Fed to cut rates. Powell's termination can't come fast enough. I'm telling you, we're reading this thing exactly the way it's unfolding here. You don't believe me? Listen to Christine Lagarde. This is back when she was still head of the IMF before she came the ECB president, but take a listen.
My last R is reset. We're seeing as necessary going forward a reset in the area of monetary policies.
Okay, there it is. That's all we need to see. A reset in the area of monetary policies. And she goes on to lay down other things. But while Mark Carney was sitting on stage as the Banker Governor of England at the time, but now running to be the leader of Canada, right? Interesting, right? How are you going to get all this turned around? You need to access liquidity from the traditional markets. Hello, enter SWIFT. Hello, enter the DTCC. Hello, enter Hidden Road. Let's move quickly now. David Schwartz has said years ago, we want to create a payment network like SWIFT, but one where the settlement, the actual movement of money, the actual plumbing underneath the surface would be decentralized. Open network. The end game is just money moving invisibly as easily as information. Love that for us. See a partnership in the future, potentially, a collaboration. And then as Chad highlighted here yesterday, Ripple meets every line of the incoming law for stable coins. The real USD will be highly trusted and highly regulated and sought after. I believe he's right. And to add to Chad's point, RLUSD will be used to help settle $3 trillion every year with the Hidden Road acquisition. That is more in settlement every year in this one acquisition with Hidden Road than Bitcoin and Tether's market cap combined by a lot. Hidden Road recently acquired a new Ripple Labs license, acquired by Ripple Labs, has gotten approval from FINRA license, I should say. If you're unfamiliar with the matter, to keep it short and simple, Hidden Road is a global credit network for institutions. A FINRA license now makes Hidden Road an official registered broker-dealer globally. I'm sure it's nothing. Well, can the price of XRP hit 20 bucks? Federal Reserve hints U.S. banks can use XRP. They sure do. They sure do. XRP price eyes a massive rally amid speculation that the Federal Reserve may integrate with the Ripple network because of what? FedNow, right? FedNow serves partnerships, metal blockchain for quick stablecoin conversion, marks major milestone. What are we about to get? Stablecoin legislation. Who's going to be able to use it? Everybody in the financial industry. Ripple, prominent provider cross-border. It highlights Ripple right there, XLM too. But here's where we know it's real. FedNow and Ripple. Ripple is among nearly the 60 partners approved to integrate with FedNow. This is not a guess. We're just waiting for them to turn it on and start using it. That's what we're waiting on. Just like when I highlighted this, we got the 60-day window for the report on the settlement of the SEC versus Ripple. And in that 60-day window, just outside of that, is the ISO FedWire FedNow implementation, July 14th. I'm loving how this is taking shape. Loving it. Yeah. And then you got the DTCC at the same time saying the world's largest financial services provider, over $2 quadrillion a year in settlement of derivatives, for a live demo showcasing the future of digital collateral market infrastructure. It's called the Great Collateral Experiment, is only 5 days away now. Is it? And then to tie it all back into the Fed, all of the DTC clears through the Federal Reserve. The Fed ain't going anywhere. It'll evolve just like everything else. You can see he's got it all laid out for us right here. It's just unbelievable the way all of this is taking shape to me. And it's pretty remarkable when you think about how this is coming together and the fight and the struggle on the geopolitical level, domestically here at home, fighting with Jerome Powell and the Fed. All of this is happening in real time. And I believe all of this is about negotiating better deals all across the board in every way, whether it's the debt of this country or tariffs and the global supply trade deals, before we transition and tokenize and move to a new digital on-chain economy. Not financial advice from me or anyone else. I told you we're going into the freedom zone. That's exactly what we're going to do right now. I hope you will join us. There's another reveal coming here. Oh boy, Robert F. Kennedy Jr. is going to turn the lights on. Come on in. Let me get this queued